1450 WOL, where information is power.
Yeah, welcome back to the Tech Talk Show, ladies and gentlemen. We got Taz, 2 Z's. Yep. We got KC, SecurityOrb.com.
What's up?
And yours truly, Mr. Zay, myzayday.com in the building. And, of course, you're tuned into the Tech Talk Show, 1-800-450-7876. Call in. Call in and let us know how you feel about that issue regarding, at what age is it appropriate for kids to engage social networking? Like, is 9, or is it middle school maybe? High school? I mean,
and the thing that's kind of scary, too, is that a lot of these kids are the technology experts in the house. So, right. Their parents don't even know how to block or really handle that situation once they're all online. So,
right. And they don't really know what it is. A lot of times I think about some of the multi-language homes as well,
Yeah.
Like, where the children are the only ones who speak the language, so they're online. They're online having a blast, and then, it's just out of control.
That was politically correct, too. Multi-language homes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We have a caller. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Hey, welcome to the Tech Talk Show.
Thank you.
Yeah. On the line, we have Ms. Gant. Ms. Gant is going to talk to us about an article that she wrote about how Congressional Black Caucus members are about the top social media users.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
okay. So let me set this up, because I know last week I spoke about this, but I don't know if the listeners are really ready for this new I Am Innovation series. The CBC is coming to the Washington, D.C. area. Shout out to the CBC. Let me get a little hand clap for that real quick. Because, the Congressional Black Caucus, the annual legislative conference, is an opportunity where people come from all over the world, black politicians, inventors, entrepreneurs, folks that are really in the mix, investment opportunity folks. They come into the area, and what they do is get together and discuss the issues that are facing our people. So now we have Jennifer on the line.
Yes, actually Jennifer Gatt.
Jennifer Gatt?
Yes, Jeneba, Gatt, G-H-A-T-T.
Oh, Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer.
Oh, I like that. Jennifer. So tell us a little bit about how the CBC people, the people who engage the CBC event, how are they the most active social network users?
Right. Well, actually, it started out as a contest among congressional Republicans. I think what's going on is that politicians, members in the government, elected officials are realizing that they can no longer ignore the power of social media, and they are actively engaging their constituents and just the members of the public in general through social media, through, forming their own Facebook group or the Facebook page, and opening up Twitter accounts. And what that does is allow them to have instant access to the public without the filters, just without filters of, their peoples in between deciding what we should and should not hear. So there's benefits and downfalls to that. So the congressional Republicans decided to have a contest to see how many of their members can sign up, get the most followers on Twitter or get the most likes on Facebook. And what happened was Democrats, the House and Senate Democrats saw that and said, hey, we need to get on that, because there was an article in the Hill newspaper that cited sources saying that 79% of the GOP is on Facebook, and another 89% had YouTube accounts, and 64% were using Twitter.
Wow.
Compared to only 34% of Democrats, House Democrats, on Facebook, and 20% of Democrats had Twitter accounts. So Democrats felt, okay, we got to step it up a little bit. So they did their own online contest called Member Online All-Star Competition, and what they did was have the top congressional elected official to get the most Twitter or Facebook account users, the MVP, and then they listed the top 50. And among them, several of the Congressional Black Caucus members were among that top 50 performers.
Wow. So was this something that was kind of fostered through how Obama used social networking, or was this something that was already on the works before Obama used it himself?
Right. Yeah. No, I think what happened is that, we all saw during the election that Obama was able to effectively use Twitter and Facebook and social media and online, forms of reaching out to people. And that was, motivated a lot of first-time voters, a lot of youth to come out and vote. And that's essentially what got him elected. Shortly after that, I think Obama may have been a driving impetus or force behind that. Several members of the House, and they tweet while on in session. And if you recall, a while back, one of the congressmen got in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tweet stuff actively, or they'll poke fun at members speaking. For example, I think somebody had a speech, and then you check the congressional members on tweeting, and they'll say, "Oh my God, here he goes again. Where is he going with this? How long is it?" So it's a way, if you are a political pundit, a tech junkie, or just someone who wants to know actively what's going on with the congressional representatives, to just get into their minds as it goes. It's people who don't understand Twitter think it's just mundane and people just tweeting their average thoughts, but it's a tool of connecting. It's a tool of reaching out. And Congresswoman Maxine Waters, for example, she uses Twitter to share her activities, what's going on, because most people won't necessarily know her daily schedule.
Right.
She said, I'm doing this, so she could promote other bills that she's working on or sponsoring. So it's a wonderful tool, and they're using it.
Yeah, and I guess the thing by you mentioning Maxine Waters and what's that New York congressman that was in trouble recently too?
Oh, Charles Rangel.
Yeah, Charles
right.
Rangel.
Is that prior to, I guess, the controversies that they were facing, I mean, you rarely saw any congressional black Congress people on TV. And the only time that I guess I started seeing, some congressional black congressmen was when they were in trouble. So I'm thinking that they're probably using the social media as a way to also push their voice out or something like that.
And I think, honestly, Obama is the one who really kickstarted this, because they saw how he mobilized an entire country from a grassroots perspective solely on leveraging social networking, leveraging email, and really engaging his constituents in that manner. I think the Republicans was like, wow, it caught them off guard completely. And he's still using it to get his message out, raise money and things of that nature. So I think that's what really stimulated this whole thing, in the first place. But it's exciting to see what's going to happen. It's going to be exciting to see what's going to happen in this next election. With everything fully, it seems like everybody's going to be fully mobilized. Social networking is going to be like on 1,000, with what they're using. So I want to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. You mentioned Obama being, sort of a trailblazer in terms of using social media. The Tea Party, and MoveOn.org obviously was one of the first netroots, and netroots is where grassroots galvanizing, support from this, on the street, Main Street, just regular average Joe just getting $20 here or there versus like having these huge dinners and, where people come in for 10,000 plate. Netroots is just galvanizing folks. So MoveOn.org, started that. Obama, took over with the election. And you're right. The Tea Party said, hey, this guy was able to get elected using this. And that's how the Tea Party movement was able to grow through, part of the way, but through reaching out to people electronically, through online means, blogging, through Facebook, through Twitter, through other social media. So you're right. It's bigger than life.
Jenny, but, there's some pros and cons to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, someone only seems superhuman until you hear them talk, until you hear them talk.
Right.
And I think about this recent situation with Phil Davidson at the GOP.
Right.
That speech that went completely viral with this guy. This guy was a nobody previously.
Right.
He gets up here, he speaks, he screams his head off during does an entire rant video. It gets online. Now he has a table, a seat at the table in the media circle. It's just unbelievable. But he's embarrassing, of course. But nevertheless, he's out there. His name is out there. So I think there's pros and cons to this, depending on what we want to put out there.
Yeah, I agree. And, that's the other negative of social media is that it's hard to take it back.
Right.
And we've seen instances of celebrities, for example, will tweet something. I remember, I think Chris Brown, for example, tweeted something.
Right.
Slamming another, and then he tried to delete it, but it's too late.
It's too late. Right.
There,
yeah.
People see it, and then it's, so that is another negative. You're right.
So these congressional black, I guess people in the Congress, do they have like a social media personnel, or are they actually doing it themselves, like on their cell phones and doing it themselves?
Right, you know, it looks like it varies. I had a chance to look at some of the tweets that were, you know, they do, and then some of their Facebook pages, and some of them read so formulatic that it looks like there's an intern assigned to tweet, and then others, they're really casual. And I think it could also be a combination where, you know, the congressional person may set it up, and the intern may, but every once in a while they have access to it as well.
You know what? We're going to have access to it, too, because we're covering the CBC live next week. So you guys get ready for Tech Talk at the CBC, and we'll talk after the break about how we have a hookup, a media hookup at the CBC, and who we're going to be talking to. Right. Tune in after the break. We're going hard. It's the Tech Talk Show. Ow.
1450 WOL, where information...